Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is the June 22nd edition of WWE NXT chat here tonight. And what an episode we have to get into here today. Lots of news coming out of that NXT show. Also, lots of great matches, lots of storyline progression to talk about. So much that happened here tonight. I gotta say, it was a very, very, very entertaining episode of NXT, which makes me happy because that means we got plenty to talk about here today. But guys, before we get started, I want to welcome you all to the show. Let you all know that I am live right now on Twitch and on YouTube. So I will be reading comments from both the Twitch homies and the YouTube dudes and dudettes here on the stream. Also, I want to let you guys all know at the top of this that this is a very interactive show. So make sure to send in your comments. Also, if you want to send in a super chat at any point throughout this stream, you are more than welcome to. Not only do super chats help me out, but they help me out and they also get your comment read here on the air, 100% guaranteed. Also, a couple more announcements before I get started. Friendly reminder that, as you all know, not only do I cover NXT and Smackdown and AEW Dynamite here on the channel, but I'm also adding a new podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am now part of a team with Garrett Gonzalez and Andrew Zarian. We are called We're Live, Pal, and we are going to be live starting next week, I believe. And today is our first show. Today was our first show, and I don't know if it's uploaded just yet on the site, but it definitely will be uploaded soon. So if you guys haven't checked that out already, that'll be up there momentarily. I will definitely promote it once it actually drops, and it's very, very fun. I'm excited to see how the show goes, and we are going to have weekly guests on the show. Today we kicked it off with Brian Alvarez, so that's going to be very, very fun. Alrighty, guys, but let's go ahead and talk about NXT. So here we go. We got our first super chat of the day. Thank you so much to Brandon on BTW. Guys, if you do send in a super chat, I do read your comments, and F4W does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds that I make from super chat. So thank you so much ahead of time. Brandon says, great Frankie Monet interview. Look forward to what she does in WWE. For those of you who do not know what Brandon is referring to, I had the opportunity to chat with Frankie Monet probably, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. I already lost track of the days, but I got to chat with Frankie Monet, and it was a very fun conversation because we essentially talked about when she got signed to WWE, what it felt like. She actually thought when she got the phone call that it was a prank. So we talk a little bit about that. She talks about the Frankie Monet character and where she draws inspiration from, and basically her goals in WWE and adjusting to this new life in Florida. So it is a very, very fun interview. So thank you so much to Brandon for sending in this comment here. Alrighty, guys, let's see. I'm looking at some of the comments here and seeing some of your guys' questions, and there is going to be lots to talk about as we get into this show. So let's go ahead and kick things off. All right, we're going to go through things chronologically since it just makes it a million times easier to follow along with everything that happens in the show. Again, send in your comments. I will be reading them as we go through this entire show. Kicking things off, ladies and gentlemen, was Adam Cole versus Carmelo Hayes. So last week, William Regal told Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole that they had to essentially pick their own opponents for next week, thus being this week. And we already knew that Kyle O'Reilly had chosen Kushida. That was a very awesome way that they did all that. But going into tonight's show, we did not know who Adam Cole was actually gonna wrestle. To be honest, I really had absolutely no clue who he was gonna go ahead and pick. And I'm kind of glad that he didn't pick anybody per se, but instead somebody took an opportunity to actually challenge Adam Cole or select themselves as Adam Cole's opponent. So Adam Cole comes out and he addresses his match with Kyle O'Reilly at Great American Bash and decides that he's not going to be picking an opponent, gets mad about the fact that just because Samoa Joe is here doesn't mean he has to be put in this situation. So then we have Carmelo Hayes come out, and I gotta say, I thought this was pretty cool. So Carmelo Hayes recently made his debut on NXT. He answered Kushida's open challenge, and now he's essentially putting himself right before Adam Cole and making him essentially pick him as the person that he's going to have this match with. And it makes me like Carmelo Hayes so much more because, I already liked him based off of his match that he had with Kushida. I thought it was a pretty solid match and all of that the last time. But just the fact that he's coming out here, he's taking charge, he's taking the initiative to get himself these matches, it makes it easy for me to want to root for a guy that actually wants to have matches, actually wants to work. And it honestly does not hurt Carmelo Hayes whatsoever to lose to guys like Kushida or Adam Cole, especially the way that he is actually making the challenges or the matches come to him instead of waiting in the back for William Regal to put him in a match or something like that. So I love this. But even before the actual match starts, we kind of had a throwback here. So Carmelo Hayes tells Adam Cole that he is going to challenge him, and if anybody changes his mind about having a match tonight, it's going to be him. And Adam Cole says, how on earth are you going to change my mind? And he says, well, there's this little phrase, and the little phrase, I forget how it goes, but it is ruthless aggression. And already we have a throwback to ruthless aggression. And so I thought that it was a pretty simple phrase to essentially get this match over. I thought this was pretty cool. The match itself, I thought was pretty good. I thought it was a solid match. One of my favorite parts of this match was actually Adam Cole disrespecting Carmelo by slapping him harsh, I may add, and basically telling him that he was a nobody, that he was the one that was the star and not Carmelo Hayes, that he was a nobody. Adam Cole ends up hitting the Canadian Destroyer for the win, and this was a perfectly fine match. Again, good opening match for Adam Cole, but a great showcase for Carmelo Hayes. What did you guys think about all of this? Let's see what you guys are saying here. All right, let's see. I'm going to go through some of your comments here, and this is a comment from ASM Shafeen, who says they loved Carmelo selling. There was definitely a lot that Carmelo did throughout this match that I definitely enjoyed. Cyclops is better than Wolverine, feels differently than me, and says that ruthless aggression line was lame, but I like Carmelo, so far he's pretty good. I didn't think it was lame. I thought it was pretty cool. Again, it was a nice little throwback. It's something that, people to this day still talk about, the ruthless aggression and all of that. I just feel like it was fine and it was straight to the point. He wasn't standing there cutting this, long promo or anything like that. I thought it was quick, straight up to the point. Everybody knew what he was getting at, and it made sense. So I actually like this. This is a comment from Ryan Vaughn, who says, Carmelo's good for sure, but his Casanova name was better for him. Yeah, I think we all probably would feel that way as well. But again, it could be worse. His name could be LA Knight or Dewdrop. It could really be a whole lot worse. All right, what else we got here? This is a comment from Sean the Goat, who says, I was eating dinner while NXT is playing in my room, and I hear ruthless aggression, and I'm like, John Cena return? Boy, we would definitely be freaking out if that were to happen, especially on a random NXT on June 22nd. Very, very random here. And let's see what else. This is a comment from High Score Runs, who says John Cena returning confirmed. JB Carroll says, will Carmelo ever be confused with Dance Break Carmella? God, I hope not. Chris Cage 2X says Carmelo Hayes was part of a good match, but can we please stop going to the well with catchphrases? I don't mind the catchphrases as long as they're not used all the time. Well, that defeats the purpose of a catchphrase, so never mind. I'm going to go ahead and skip over what I was going to say there. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Actually, I'm going to read one more comment, then we'll move on. This one is from Lenny, who says, the ruthless aggression deal comes off as unoriginal and out of place for NXT, which is yet another reason why using this line just doesn't fit. What? So I'm like one of the few people who actually enjoyed this line. I didn't think it was bad whatsoever. I liked it. I really, really liked it. So I guess I'm on the other side of the spectrum here. And alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had a pretty awesome match. Actually, You know what? It was my favorite match of the night, and that's saying a lot because we had a pretty strong main event here today. But I have to say that my favorite match of the night was actually Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory versus Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. This match was a blast. This took a nice portion, a nice chunk of the show, but I really enjoyed it. So Gargano comes out with Austin Theory, and he basically says that he's the best in NXT and that NXT was the best when he was a champion, says that it was paradise, says that Karrion Kross is not on his level, says he can out-wrestle Karrion Kross any day, even when he's at his worst. And here's the thing is that, at this point, Johnny Gargano is technically, when he's saying this, he's a heel, and he's the heel that is essentially kind of speaking the truth here, where he's basically saying that he can out-wrestle Karrion Kross. So Dunne ends up coming out with Oney Lorcan, and Dunne tells Gargano that he must be mad if he thinks that he's the one that should be challenging Karrion Kross for the title. And then before he can even get a word out, Dunne just immediately shuts up Austin Theory before he can literally even speak. Johnny Gargano puts the mic down and walks out. And I just gotta say this. I don't know why, but finally I kind of feel like the way is definitely starting to become less annoying and a little bit more likable. And I even felt that way with Austin Theory. You guys know that I necessarily haven't been like the biggest fan of Austin Theory. Like, I've just kind of been like over it. But I will say this, I was a fan of everything that they did tonight. But let's jump into the actual match here. So this match was awesome. Essentially, what we had throughout this entire match was Oney Lorcan and Pete Dunne beating the living hell out of Austin Theory. You know what? Kudos to Austin Theory because he took a beating tonight. Pete Dunne clothesline Theory at the top of this match. Oney and Dunne both chop Theory. Then Oney begins to work the arm of Theory. And then right after that, Dunne comes in and then begins working the fingers of Theory. So again, he is literally taking a beating in every sense of the word. Theory finally gets Johnny Gargano tagged into the match, but Johnny Gargano is in there for probably a couple of seconds, and Theory gets tagged back into this actual match. We then see Lorcan and Pete Dunne also double team Theory on the outside, and then Dunne and Lorcan essentially just again beat him up outside. But here's the thing that I have to add to this. And the thing that I want to add is that I really, really enjoyed Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan as an actual team here tonight. I thought they complemented each other very, very well. I was a big fan of what they were doing here today. Afterwards, for the win, we did see Gargano coming in later on in this portion of this match, but in the end, we see Gargano essentially kill Pete Dunne on the outside of the ring with a killer DDT that made me gasp. Then on the inside of the ring, we see him do a DDT on Oney Lorcan and eventually gets the win. Post-match, Karrion Kross comes out and attacks Johnny Gargano, and people are chanting, "You suck." Yeah, people are not a fan right now of Karrion Kross. Okay, what did you guys think of this match? Send in your thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and read what you guys are saying. And this is a comment from Tamzid who says Johnny Gargano is back as a babyface. He actually is. We kind of saw this like slow turn here on this actual match. And I think for the most part, people are feeling it. People are excited about it because that's when Johnny Gargano, you can say, is loved the most, you can say. Let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from the Cantastic who says, Kross came from behind, shot at Gargano, was really impactful, looked like he really killed Johnny Gargano. It was a good spot. I really like that spot as well. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Jay Swag Knapp who says, still can't believe they broke up the freaking Undisputed Era. I know a lot of people are still mad about that. I was reading those comments right now, just recently on my Twitter timeline. And I do want to point this out as well, as Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury just mentioned. I love Theory Spanish Fly. That Spanish Fly was awesome. It looked fantastic. I was a big fan of that as well. Again, a really enjoyable match with a team that finally feels likable, and then with a team that I want to see have more matches together with Pete Dunne and Oni Lorcan. And this is a comment from Sean the Goat, who says, the match was cool, but why the hell did Cross have to attack them? Bad Cross. Very, very bad Cross. I feel bad. I feel like right now, no matter what Cross does, it's just not getting over with the people. So I guess in a way, might as well utilize the heat that he is getting and, make it work for him. I think that's the best thing that they can possibly do right now. Let's see what else we got here. This is coming from a High Score Run, who says, can't wait until Cross goes to Raw and they give him a superhero gimmick. Oh man, you know what? I know that a lot of people weren't necessarily fond of Nikki Cross's new superhero gimmick, and I didn't really feel very much love for it when it was introduced. But I will say this, I think by the end of the night, I was disliking it a lot less than I was when it first popped up on the screen. I gotta say, you know what? Good for Nikki Cross. She's getting herself on television. If that's what they're gonna do, she might as well rock it. Alrighty, guys, let's see what else we got here. BTW, do not forget, if you guys want to send in a super chat, they really help me out. Send them in. I do get to keep 100% of whatever money I make from super chats. All right, guys, let's move in to this next match. We had Jessi Kamea and Aaliyah versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. And I just got to start off by saying that I did not realize how tall Jessi Kamea actually is. I don't know what, I think it was in that backstage segment that she did with Franky Monet and Aaliyah, where I just thought, oh man, she's really tall. And I just realized it. But Aaliyah and Io Shirai kick off this match. Io gives her a couple of chops, double knees, and then tags in Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark and Jessi Kamea go at it. And I gotta say this, once we saw Aaliyah in the ring, I think Aaliyah definitely does look a lot more comfortable in the ring per se. There was a lot of sloppiness throughout this entire match. I think this was probably not even the best, but she did look comfortable. But I'm not going to go ahead and say that I'm absolutely crazy about the team of Jessi and Aaliyah. I thought that Io Shirai and Zoe Stark were phenomenal together, but there's only so much that you can get with both of these teams together. So this match itself was what you would expect. It was a little bit sloppy. They kept doing a lot of fast tags. It seemed at some point, I believe there was a moment where Jessi even sort of forgot one of her spots. It was a little bit weird, but Io Shirai ended up getting the win. Again, this was not the best match. It went a little bit too long, and that was kind of about it. But post-match, we had Dakota and Raquel come out and basically say that the tag titles that Candice and Indy have, as they were out there too, that they belong to them. But then Shotzi and Ember came out, and then they said that they are in the front of the line for the title, and all the women brawl. Samoa Joe can't get a hold of things, and it always makes me laugh because Samoa Joe can very well choke out Adam Cole, but he cannot get the women in line whatsoever. Next week, we are going to get a triple threat women's #1 contenders match. Whoever wins will go ahead and face Indy and Candice. So we are going to have Zoe and Io teaming up versus Dakota and Raquel versus Ember and Shotzi. All right, guys, what did you all think about this? Agree, disagree? Let's see what the thoughts are here. This one is from Sam3, who says women's tag division showed up to argue like children at school. I didn't mind them sort of going back and forth saying like, oh, well, I deserve this opportunity. I deserve this opportunity. I didn't hate it because I feel like they could be doing a lot worse. I mean, we've all seen the Raw women's tag team division, and I do definitely feel like NXT is doing something totally different with their tag team division. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that it did not bother me whatsoever. This is a comment from Dom G, who says, do you prefer earlier match announcements for TakeOver or more build up prior to the announcements? I think you would have maybe a little bit of both. I want a build up. I want to know ahead of time what the matches are going to be, but also with a proper build up instead of like actually essentially kind of what they did with Hell in a Cell, where they like sprung up a lot of stuff on us or did like a lot of rematches. So I definitely prefer a little bit of both here. And this is a comment from Brandon, who says, dang, seems like they are way more NXT tag teams than they are main roster women's tag teams? I think there is. I mean, I haven't actually counted, but just like from a bird's eye view, it definitely feels like there is for sure. And this is a comment from Synonymous TV who says, I like Ember and Shotzi, but I can definitely see why some people would think they are cringy. See, I like Ember and Shotzi visually. I think that they look great, and I like them in the ring too. I think that they are a lot of fun. And when they come out, with the tank and they look so cool and they got cool gear, I like all of that. I think the only thing I didn't like today was Shotzi essentially. I forgot when she said like, oh, I'm going to go in there and kick ass. I forgot how she said it, but that didn't really come across as very likable for some reason. But for the most part, I'm still feeling Ember and Shotzi. And I saw a couple of people on Twitter basically saying that they kind of felt that they were a little bit unlikable, but I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm to the point where I feel like they are unlikable. So maybe I'm missing something, but I don't feel like they are unlikable just yet. I think that's probably the best way to explain it. Do I want to see them as women's tag team champions again? Probably not, but they don't necessarily bother me as an actual team. And this is a comment from Cyclops that says, the way was smart not to enter the ring, let them fight against themselves. Yeah, exactly. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Lenny who says, because there are more women in NXT than there are in the main roster between both shows. Seriously. Yeah, I forgot. I think the last time we talked about this on Smackdown, I think the Smackdown women's count was like 8 women, if I remember correctly. And I just remember like, oh, that was like a whole topic within itself. They definitely have a lot more women on NXT. And okay, so we are definitely getting some comments here about Shotzi and Ember. This one is from M. Derrett, who says they are getting a little cringy. Cyclops says Shotzi has good campy charisma, but Ember sounds like a horrible actress saying lines. See, and there was a moment like when they were doing the whole like Indy Dexter thing where he was like supposedly flirting with Ember and Shotzi, or that was the story that they were trying to tell. See, I actually liked Ember in that because Ember was showing like a lot of personality during that. So I feel like I saw something else with Ember when they were telling that story there. This is a comment from Justin Martin who says, this felt like a typical main roster promo where several challengers made their case and argue about it. Should be a heck of a match next week though. Yeah, definitely that's what it was there. So I can definitely agree with you on that one there. And we actually have a super chat. Thank you so much to my favorite bird, Sexy Pheasant, who says, tell SRS we need a DWO shirt. I had been thinking about doing a DWO shirt, but I'm always like, I'm putting shirts out there and I feel like I always forget to promote my shirts, and I need to sell more shirts. Let's just get it at that. But yes, I do definitely think that at some point, I don't know when, at some point, I got to come with a DWO shirt. But I just feel like the NWO shirts and not like there's so many different versions of the NWO shirt that people have like made their own to promote themselves or their podcast or whatever it is it may be, that I almost feel like having a DWO shirt would be super basic. So I'm always like a little bit hesitant about that, even though it's kind of like a thing. So I don't know, Sexy Pheasant. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's see what else we got coming from Lenny, who says the roster cuts really gutted a large chunk of the women's division on the main roster. They made a mistake separating the tag titles because now the women's tag titles have no challengers between both shows, while NXT has a lot of them. And this is coming from JB Carroll, who says, I'm rooting for Ember. She almost quit for a real one on Renee's show on FS1 during her injury recovery. Thank you so much to JB, who says, I love your voice, quite soothing and a good refresher for the observer. Well, yeah, probably because it's a female voice. So it's definitely going to be different. So it's going to sound a lot different from a lot of other people's voices. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. Alrighty, here we go. We have the Frankie Monet Encore world premiere, and I'm not that crazy about this match and what we saw here, and it bums me out because I was kind of looking forward to this. Obviously, like I mentioned at the top of the stream, I just finished talking to Franky Monet, so I was really, really excited to see this world premiere, but I don't necessarily think that Elektra Lopez was essentially the best challenger for Franky Monet here. And here's what I want to say. So first and foremost, Franky Monet looks great. Her gear looks great. I mean, the big coat with the fur. I mean, it is very, very outlandish, which goes perfectly well with the Franky Monet character. The girl looks like a star, okay? And that's one of the things that I do think that we should see a little bit more from the main roster women as well, is that I do think that a lot of their like get-ups could be like a lot more, you know, flashier. I think that that would definitely work just to add a little star power to some of the women. But anyway, so we get into this match. Monet kicks Lopez in the gut, punches her in the face. She gets her with a forearm, and in the end, she gets her with a butterfly face buster for the win. I just didn't think this match was anything special, so that's why I want to say that Elektra Lopez wasn't the best challenger for Franky Monet, because I didn't necessarily see anything in Elektra that I thought, oh my God, you know, she's very impressive. And at the same time, it didn't really allow for Franky Monet to show a lot of her own arsenal and a lot of her own skills. So I kind of just felt like this match was just there. It wasn't anything where I felt like it put over Franky Monet much more than she already was. So that's my thoughts on that. What did you guys think about this? And we actually have another super chat from Sexy Pheasant. Thank you so much, Sexy Pheasant, who says, how about a sizzling Salcedo shirt? We need more. BTW, guys, for those of you who do want a shirt of mine, I do have several shirts, actually, over on Pro Wrestling Tees, and these are a couple of them. If you are a fan of Speak Now Pro Wrestling, I do have 3 versions of the show up on Pro Wrestling Tees. Just type in my name, and you will see these shirts, and they are a topic of discussion here today. And we actually have another super chat. Thank you so much to Wrestling Gamer, who says, I need more Franky Monet and Elektra Lopez in my life. Also, John Morrison is one lucky guy. Okay, so then maybe I'm totally off here because I was not a fan of this match. But if you were a fan of this match, then thumbs up for that. Obviously, Elektra Lopez had a very different look. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do really with her character and what she's really supposed to be. Because I did kind of find it a little bit confusing, like the gear with the little, I don't even know, are they called tassels? The things that she had around her waist? I think they're tassels. Yeah, that was there. Let's see what else we got here. Chris Cage says, Elektra Lopez looks fine. Sorry, gotta say it. Bro, I was saying it, all right? When Elektra Lopez came out, I was like, whoa, girl, hello there. I actually even pointed it out. Yeah, anyways, I'm not even going to get into that. All right, let's see what else we got here. I just do think that the gear was a little funky, though. Like, she looks great, but the gear was a little funky. And that's, for me, what I wasn't necessarily crazy about was the actual gear. But that's just me being, like, you know, really into fashion and not caring so much about the gear itself. This is a comment from the Cantastic, who says, I feel like the woman facing Franky was booked to have a name combining Carmen Electra and Jennifer Lopez. Holy moly, you are actually right there. See, I got the Carmen Electra one, but I kind of forgot about Jennifer Lopez. So I definitely see what they did there. Oh, yeah. Now that you pointed out, I mean, it is super freaking obvious. All right, makes sense. Moving on. All righty, let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Patrick, who says, I like that Franky gives to her opponents, but I do think that she maybe should be dominant for a little bit. See, but that's the thing, though, is that Franky Monet is very, very talented. So, like, even when she is giving more stuff to her opponents, it's okay, because everything that she does is, it just looks different, and she does things in a way that is just at another level. So even if she does some of what you would say like the most basic things in the match, it doesn't matter because it still looks really good. So I don't mind her necessarily giving something to her opponent, because if anything, it kind of makes the match a little bit better. But I get what you mean, as in she came in, Franky Monet, and the first thing she did was essentially confront Raquel Gonzalez, who had just become the NXT Women's Champion. And for a second, I thought that they were just going to like hot shot her right into the title picture. I thought, all right, that's going to be something different. But it kind of seems like they went there for like the big debut moment and kind of reeled it back a lot. And so now it just kind of feels like Franky Monet is going through the natural process until she finally gets to that main event title picture. But we all know she's eventually going to get there. So I would like a little bit more of either, if she's going to have these matches, might as well look really dominant and do like this dominant squash, or if not, have these really good quality matches. And I don't necessarily think that she's having either or. Like, she's not going in there and having these breakout performances with some of these other women. We're not seeing that just yet, but we're also not seeing these very dominant squashes. So it is something in between there with what we're seeing with Franky Monet. So thank you so much to Patrick for sending in this comment here. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Dom G, who says, Denise, how soon do you think it will take NXT to market Monet's dog plush or Beanie Baby style? Dude, they got to do it. Do it. I'm all for it. I mean, come on. If they were to do a little plush version of her puppy Presley, I think that the kids would definitely love it. Heck, I'd buy that over the Lily doll. That's for sure. And I just realized my lower third was not up this entire time. All right, cool. And let's see what else we got here, guys. I'm going to get some more comments and then I'm going to move on. This one is from Pomi Wrestling, who says, Franky should have had this match with someone like Zayda Ramir, who is more than just a jobber, but still way below the top names in NXT. Thank you so much, Pomi Wrestling. Thank you for mentioning Zayda Ramir. I do think Zayda Ramir would have been perfect in this spot. 100% agree, because Elektra, is still a little bit green. And obviously, we get that's what developmental is for. But I do think she had to be just a little bit more advanced to have this match with Franky Monet. Let's see what else we got here. This is a comment. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you so much to Chris Ludek, who says, what's your favorite food to eat during a WWE show? I like to switch it up. During pay-per-views is when I order takeout. I'll get myself a burrito. I'll get myself some pizza. I'll get myself a chicken sandwich. I mean, I like to switch it up, guys. I love to eat. So I'm totally cool with switching things up. When I watch Raw, I try not to eat anything because it's a 3-hour show and I will eat something. I usually do, but I try not to. And then NXT, I don't eat NXT. I don't eat NXT. I don't eat anything when I'm watching NXT or Smackdown, just because my notes that I take during those two shows. Actually, wait. I don't eat during NXT, AEW, or SmackDown because I have to take so many notes during those shows and they're a lot shorter. So I'm too focused on tweeting and taking notes and preparing for the post show that I don't really have time to eat. But Raw is a little bit differently. I try not to eat when I'm watching Raw, but I do eat because, like I said, it's a 3-hour show and I have more time to, do my notes and not have to rush. So that extra hour does give me a little bit of leeway. But here's the thing too, is random notes. So if Raw is bad, I eat more. So when Raw sucks, I tend to eat a lot more than when it's good. Like this past Monday or this Monday, really, I didn't really eat that much. But when Raw's bad, I'll keep going to the kitchen every commercial break to grab myself a snack. So yeah. For my health and for my purposes, I hope that they make Raw a better show every week so that I don't snack too much. Thank you so much to Chris for sending in this super chat. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. All right, guys. We are now moving on to Hit Row versus Ever Rise. So once I saw that this match was essentially going on and there was only 20 minutes left on NXT, I figured that this was going to be a squash match, because at this point I'm thinking, all right, we still got to find out what the heck the Diamond Mine is. What are they going to do with that? And we also still have to see the main event. So I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be a squash match. And it was essentially a squash match that was really nothing, really, to be honest. Hit Row won, but there was nothing here that I was thrilled about or excited about or anything. It was just a match. I didn't care. There was nothing here that grabbed my attention or that made me say, whoa, that was cool. Not one thing. I have to agree with Synonymous TV who says, I'm sorry, but I don't really care for Hit Row right now. See, I gotta say, I feel the exact same way. I liked them when they made their debut and they had that, really fun promo where they're all sort of talking over each other. I thought that was a really cool introduction of Hit Row. But after that, I lost interest completely. I didn't see much of anything in their matches. I don't care for a lot of the backstage segments that they do or the promos. It hasn't necessarily hit the mark for me. So right now, I'm kind of not over Hit Row. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not looking forward to it because they haven't given me a reason to. Again, their debut was very awesome, very strong on NXT. I was 100% here for that, but it just kind of went downhill for me on this one. So I'm sorry. I hope that it does get better though with Hit Row. That's what I'm going to say with that. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Joseph Boza who says, it feels like Hit Row was created mainly for two reasons. One, to keep Swerve Scott there and relevant, and two, to get Brianna, who is BFAB, on TV. I think she has been signed for 3 years before getting on TV. So Isaiah Swerve Scott, though, I feel like before they did the introduction of Hit Row, he had just came off of those matches with Leon Ruff that were pretty darn entertaining. Like, I remember enjoying those matches. And I feel like he was just starting to get the ball rolling with what he was doing. And then all of a sudden he comes out, he has this entourage. And the next thing you know, they developed the Hit Row thing. Does he need Hit Row? Maybe yes, maybe no, because I'm going to say maybe yes, just because it gives them something. Then essentially just being there on the roster, it does give them a little bit of an actual, not maybe like an actual purpose, but it gives them some sort of direction, okay? But I don't necessarily think that they've made Isaiah Swerve Scott a stronger singles competitor by adding him into this stable. I thought he was actually doing better off prior to being in Hit Row. So I don't necessarily know if it's the greatest direction that they're going with him. And again, I wasn't that big of a fan of Top Dollar. I thought that the first time that we saw them in the ring together with Ashanti the Adonis, I thought Adonis was great. I thought he was perfectly fine, but I wasn't completely sold on Top Dollar. So I just kind of feel like they haven't given me a reason to say that I'm still excited about what they're doing with Hit Row. That's the best way that I can explain it. George Salas, welcome. George Salas just became a YouTube member here on the channel. That is awesome, guys. If you did not know, you could become a YouTube member here, and you get exclusive bonus content. You get to watch all of these bonus videos. So make sure, if you guys want, go ahead and become a YouTube member. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from ASM Shafim who says, Hit Row will pick up after Great American Bash with the Reed feud, but I haven't cared for this act from the start. Some of the acting from them comes off as too over the top. Yeah, and when they had that whole stare down with MSK, I thought that was pretty cool. But again, there hasn't been that much there, at least to keep me entertained. And someone says, I forgot the LA Knight promo. You did a promo. It was fine. I don't think there's really much I want to add to that, to be honest. If you guys have something better to say about the LA Knight promo than I do, for sure send it in. I kind of feel like I just don't care. Or it wasn't anything different than we've already seen, He's there. He's in front of his mansion. Seems to be by the pool lounging. He's got the $1 million belt. Looks great. That's kind of about it. All right, let's see. This is a comment from Loston, Missouri, who says, it's surprising to see people don't like Hit Row. It's not, I won't go as far as to say we don't like Hit Row. It's just that they haven't done anything to keep you engaged or interested. You got to keep me interested each and every single week. We got short attention spans. The second you start not being somewhat interesting, we out. That is exactly how I feel. So thank you so much to Loston for sending in this comment here. But guys, BTW, before I continue on, friendly reminder, if you guys send in a super chat throughout the stream, stream. I will read your comment on the air, 100% guaranteed, or your money back. I will be reading your comments. So go ahead and send them in if you guys want. They do help me out, and I do get to keep 100% of the proceeds from all super chats. So let's see what else we got going. Here we go. Let's move on, because after this, we are actually already hitting into the main event segment. But before we do, next week's matches have been announced. At least a couple of them have. We are going to be seeing Mercedes Martinez and Jake Atlas. Woo! They're giving Jake Atlas something. Versus Boa and Xia Li. That is happening next week. We are also seeing Ciampa and Thatcher versus MSK. And we're also going to be seeing Cameron Grimes in action. All of that next week. Alrighty, and no, I can't really give you your money back, guys. I don't have the power to give you your money back on your super chat. So no, I can't really give you your money back. But here we go. Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly. So this is literally the main event that I think we all expected to get out of Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly. So Kushida does an arm breaker, transitions it into a hoverboard lock on Kyle O'Reilly. We see Kyle O'Reilly counter it. They go back and forth throughout this entire match. We see Kyle O'Reilly clothesline Kushida and hit him with a brain buster to eventually get the win here. Post-match, we have Adam Cole coming out, and he attacks Kyle O'Reilly, and they brawl on the outside by the commentary table. Security can't pull them apart, and I'm thinking, oh man, is this it? Is this all that we're doing here? What the hell happened to the Diamond Mine? I'm thinking, what's going on here? They promoted it, and people were telling me to wait. It's already the end of the show. We have a few minutes, but it seems like this is the way that they're going to end it. But I was completely wrong, because after this, we had an attack on Kushida. So I'm curious to see your thoughts on this, because turns out that the Diamond Mine is not the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White chanting hi ho. It is not that, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a stable, a new stable. And that was one of the predictions that we were talking about last week. A lot of people, we were kind of thinking like, what is the Diamond Mine going to be? Is the Diamond Mine going to be Raw Underground version 2.0? Is it going to be a stable? Is it going to be, obviously we knew it wasn't going to be just one person, because we did think that earlier on. But once we got that promo video, we realized that it was something else, not a one individual per se. And so inside the ring, you see Kushida being attacked by the returning Roderick Strong, Russ Taylor, and Hideki Suzuki, and also being voiced by Malcolm Bivens. And so I'm interested in this, and here's why. So we have Hideki here, who is literally one of the best catch wrestlers, not just in Japan, but across the world. Okay. He was trained by Billy Robinson. He's been freelancing in Japan. The last promotion that he worked for was Noah. And so with that being said, I feel like this is going to be an intriguing stable. And the reason for that is not only do you have Roderick Strong, who people, are already a fan of. He's already somebody that has built a lot of credibility for himself on NXT, but also I'm excited to see this, because I'm curious if they're going to change up Roderick Strong's style. I feel like because he's going to be part of this stable, I feel like he has to come out and obviously wrestle this style more than what he was doing before. So I am interested in seeing how his character, how his in-ring work is going to develop. Russ Taylor, for the most part, what we have seen already from him on NXT has been good. Malcolm Bivens is going to be a fantastic mouthpiece. And obviously, with Hideki, you are going to be getting this credibility from him. If he's going to be, training these guys behind the scenes, whatever the case may be, I feel like you already have that instant credibility there. And so I am pretty excited to see what the Diamond Mine is essentially going to be like on NXT, and I hope it's good. I mean, for the most part right now, I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. It gives all of these guys an actual direction, gives Roderick Strong this new, you can say I even want to say like this new Roderick Strong, this new version of Roderick Strong. I mean, that could be fantastic for him too. Something different for him to do on NXT for a guy who's already done so much on the brand. And obviously, you know, I already mentioned Russ Taylor and all of that. But what do you guys think of the Diamond Mine? Let's see what we got here. Thank you so much to let's see. We got so many comments here. All right. Someone says, why am I calling him Russ Taylor? Isn't that Russ Taylor? Am I messing this up? NXT name, Tyler Rust. I'm sorry, guys. I messed up the name. My bad here. All right. This is a comment from ASM Shafeen who says, same feeling, Denise. Pretty excited. And, you know, they will over-deliver between the ropes every time. Patrick says, I like that there are new factions like the Diamond Mine and Hit Row. I think it freshens up NXT. Chris Cage 2X says this is Malcolm Bivens' second team stable he's managing. The last one was Indusher. And then let's see what else we got here. This is one from Lenny who says, presuming they go with Strong, Kushida, they're going to tear it down even if Roddy sticks with what we know him for. Synonymous TV says, I think it's kind of sad how Roderick Strong was so sad about losing the Undisputed Era that he went out and got a new group. Poor guy just wants to be a part of something. So you're telling me he can't be a loner. He's got to be in a stable. And let's see what else we got here. Brandon Charles Powell says the fact that Diamond Mine was revealed in the main event is a good sign that NXT wants to really push this group. Let's see. You know what? I think was I calling Tyler by his indie name? I think I was. That was my bad, guys. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, I'm going to go through a couple more comments here. This is a comment from Sam who says that he should be wearing a mask. That Tyler should be wearing a mask. Bonker says another group for Roderick Strong. Joseph Boza says, can I be honest? This was a letdown for me. I thought it would have been like an MMA gym, like American Top Team transitioning to NXT. And let's see, we have a comment from... another one from Joseph. It says, have to wait and see, but first impression, I wonder if Roddy isn't on the list of officials on the main roster to possibly call up, and this group is how Triple H keeps him. LOL. And that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed your comment, go ahead and send it in and let me know how you guys feel about the Diamond Mine. Even if you're watching on the replay of this show, go ahead and leave your comments in the comments section. Or if you're watching the audio version, you can always tweet me, whatever you guys feel like. This is another comment from the Cantastic who says, I feel like Suzuki would just be there to stand and stare intensely for several months before he finally does something. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how he plays a part in this stable. JB Carroll says Diamond Mine might be an MMA Top Team. Have to see. And thank you so much. You cannot watch the audio version. I know that. All right, guys. Like Patrick just mentioned, I am going to be covering Dynamite on Saturday. So again, that's not going to be on Wednesday. AEW will be on Saturday. So the next show that I will be going on till Friday. So Friday, I'll be talking about Smackdown, which is going to be fun because the last couple of weeks we've been doing AEW and Smackdown together. So finally, we're back to just the one show to talk about. And then I will be back again on Saturday for AEW. Alrighty, guys, there you go. That was the show. As a reminder, do not forget to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. And I'll see you guys all on Friday for Friday Night Smackdown. Goodbye, everyone.